I'm going over the textbook I wrote to teach homeschoolers world history. A Bible believer looks at world history, making some revisions and some additions. So I want to talk today about the Babylonians some more. Now, the Babylonians worshipped Ishtar, goddess of immigrants and liberty, known as Astarte to the Greeks, the prototype of Aphrodite, and the Roman Venus, the same as the Egyptian Isis, Ashtoreth to the Jews, and also Demeter, Minerva, Diana, with maybe the Catholic Mary eventually assuming her position as the Virgin, quote unquote, the Holy Virgin, the Virgin Mother, Queen of Heaven, and the Mother of God. These are all terms that were applied to Ishtar. Sacred prostitution was a vital part of a Babylonian religion, as it was of Canaanite Phoenician. Herodotus reports that here as in Phoenicia and elsewhere, quote, every native woman was obliged to, once in her life, to sit in the temple of Venus and have intercourse with some stranger. That's from Durant, page 245. With regard to women, their level of rights was lower than in Egypt or Rome, but equal to that of classic Greece or medieval Europe. Among the upper classes of women, they were confined to a certain area of the house and were not permitted out without a chaperone, in a very similar situation to a major religion today. Egypt was known for looking down on Babylon as an inferior culture, and it is true that Babylon lacked the sophistication of Egypt. As Babylon eventually degenerated, young men dyed and curled their hair and perfumed their flesh, and as Herodotus declared, every man in his poverty prostituted his own daughters for money. The wealthier a civilization becomes, the more morally bankrupt it becomes. Babylonia made maps of cities such as Nippur, had knowledge of the sexuality of plants, something only rediscovered in 1694, played music on lutes, used clay letters, clay envelopes, and a postal system, wrote in a cuneiform script, a type of pictogram. They also developed positional notation based on the number 60. Their temple music changed from simple chanted hymns to a complete liturgical service, with 5 to 27 selections dispersed with instrumental music. Glass was used to form objects and vessels as a glaze for pottery. The Babylonia, the of Abram's age, was not a primitive society, but a rich cosmopolitan culture that traded for goods from India to Egypt and possibly beyond. Durant gives us a further warning, though, in our study of history. He says on page 259 of his first volume on the story of civilization that, quote, reconstruction of the whole from a part is hazardous in history, and the writing of history is the reconstruction of the whole from a part, unquote. I would add, once again, to stick to God's inspired word for your absolute standard of infallible truth, not any historians or any historical writer, including mine, feeble efforts. So we'll pick it up with Assyria next. I certainly hope that you enjoy this and feel free to make comments. I'd like to see what you have to say. If you disagree, that's fine. Just add some citations so we can learn from what you have. Thank you.